Intercept, to interrupt the course of. Intercession, entreaty in behalf of others. Intercessor, a mediator. Interdict, authoritative act of prohibition. Interim, time between acts or periods. Interlocutor, one who takes part in a conversation or oral discussion. Interlude, an action or event considered as coming between others of greater length. Intermediate, being in a middle place or degree or between extremes. Interminable, having no limit or end. Intermission, a recess. Intermit, to cause to cease temporarily. Intermittent, a temporary discontinuance. Interpolation, verbal interference. Interpose, to come between other things or persons. Interposition, a coming between. Interpreter, a person who makes intelligible the speech of a foreigner by oral translation. Interrogate, to examine formally by questioning. Interrogative, having the nature or form of a question. Interrogatory, a question or inquiry. Interrupt, to stop while in progress. Intersect, to cut through or into so as to divide. Intervale, a low tract of land between hills, especially along a river. Intervene, to interfere for some end. Intestacy, the condition resulting from one's dying not having made a valid will. Intestate, not having made a valid will. Intestine, that part of the digestive tube below or behind the stomach, extending to the anus. Intimacy, close or confidential friendship. Intimidate, to cause to become frightened. Intolerable, insufferable. Intolerance, inability or unwillingness to bear or endure. Intolerant, bigoted. Intoxicant, anything that unduly exhilarates or excites. Intoxicate, to make drunk. Intracellular, occurring or situated within a cell. Intramural, situated within the walls of a city. Intrepid, fearless and bold. Intricacy, perplexity. Intricate, difficult to follow or understand. Intrigue, a plot or scheme, usually complicated and intended to accomplish something by secret ways. Intrinsic, inherent. Introductory, preliminary. Introgression, entrance. Intramit, to insert. Introspect, to look into. Introspection, the act of observing and analyzing one's own thoughts and feelings. Introversion, the act of turning or directing inward, physically or mentally. Introvert, to turn within. Intrude, to come in without leave or license. Intrusion, the act of entering without warrant or invitation, encroachment. Intuition, instinctive knowledge or feeling. Inundate, to fill with an overflowing abundance. Inundation, flood. Inure, to harden or toughen by use, exercise, or exposure. Invalid, having no force, weight, or cogency. Invalid, one who is disabled by illness or injury. Invalidate, to render of no force or effect. Invaluable, exceedingly precious. Invariable, unchangeable. Invasion, encroachment as by an act of intrusion or trespass. Invective, an utterance intended to cast censure or reproach. Inveigh, to utter vehement censure or invective. Inventive, quick at contrivance. Inverse, contrary in tendency or direction. Inversion, change of order so that the first shall become last and the last first. Invert, to turn inside out, upside down, or in opposite direction. Investigator, one who investigates. Investor, one who invests money. Inveterate, habitual. Invidious, showing or feeling envy. Invigorate, to animate. Invincible, not to be conquered, subdued, or overcome. Inviolable, incapable of being injured or disturbed. Invoke, to call on for assistance or protection. Involuntary, unwilling. Involution, complication. Involve, to draw into entanglement, literally or figuratively. Invulnerable, that cannot be wounded or hurt. Inwardly, with no outward manifestation. Iota, a small or insignificant mark or part. Irascible, prone to anger. Irate, moved to anger. Ire, wrath. Iridescence, a many-colored appearance. Iridescent, exhibiting changing rainbow colors due to the interference of the light. Irk, to afflict with pain, vexation, or fatigue. Irksome, wearisome. Irony, censure or ridicule under cover of praise or compliment. Irradiance, luster. Irradiate, to render clear and intelligible. Irrational, not possessed of reasoning powers or understanding. Irreducible, that cannot be lessened. Irrefragable, that cannot be refuted or disproved. Irrefrangible, that cannot be broken or violated. Irrelevant, inapplicable. Irreligious, indifferent or opposed to religion. Irreparable, that cannot be rectified or made amends for. Irrepressible, that cannot be restrained or kept down. Irresistible, that cannot be successfully withstood or opposed. Irresponsible, careless of or unable to meet responsibilities. Irreverence, the quality showing or expressing a deficiency of veneration, especially for sacred things.